Okay, what do we have? Sidine?
You're
Is
here,
everything alright?
finally.
What's wrong?
Is something wrong?
Monsieur Neurvalette and Lady Farina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute. Please go see for yourself.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh my. Drama, drama.
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
Okay, she's putting on the
And yet
front.
the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
You mean they're all...
They are.
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again.
You tell her.
I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that. But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again.
Ooh.
Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really
I don't
so
like that
strange
sentence.
I know nothing? I understand your
She's her and I'm
concerns,
me.
but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your inquiries. You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
Oh, so you're stalking me now.
Well,
Damn.
since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it.
So please
There's no point
share.
questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead. Just trust in me. You're Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn out fine.
Convince yourself, huh?
That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Toodles. I feel you. I feel you, my guy.
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling. Huh. She didn't seem in the mood to care if we were listening in or not.
Damn. Ignored. Completely ignored.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Yeah.
Oh, you noticed. Seems Farina didn't even realize we were here.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue.
Yes, this... I can't help but feel that this is some kind of trauma response. It's not just her running away from the responsibility, she clearly doesn't. But her reaction to him questioning her is... she's clearly avoiding the subject, and that's just...
Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage?
I'm afraid questions alone might not suffice. We need to make her understand how dire the situation
Everyone
actually
in her inner
is.
circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless absolutely forced to. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
Okay.
Oh? Like what?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a scenario.
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can.
The knave might be a great
If at all
support
possible, I
here.
would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this.
In that case, we will need help.
But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
Oh, I think I know who to call. A few days later, on a boat somewhere in quiet
Well,
Bosson.
that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it
Who are
was
we
pretty smart
calling?
of you to think of hiding here.
Lucino?
Poisson was just involved in a
Well,
disaster,
House of the
so
Hearth.
it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
That's what families should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me?
No.
No. I
No.
don't think I can.
Then, how about you, good sir?
Never let us
I
hear.
fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last. I guess I'll be facilitating things from here.
So no knave.
That was a
Lorenz
little
here.
long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right.
It's so sweet to hear
Cheers.
them
Our friend here,
speaking
the traveler,
so
has brought us together
lighthearted.
to discuss something. As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh, how intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand and used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain in detail. A round of applause, please.
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your
Aw.
boss with in the future.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss. You go on.
Okay. Okay, Nevi.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette, Oh, right. You were sick that day, weren't you?
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before. Does that count?
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus.
More lore.
Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society,
Yep.
taking up arms in other lines of work. They even left a unique methodology of hunting in their wake. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be necessary to deal with the prey. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our techniques.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker if I do say so myself.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach. That's the kind of method I would count on.
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of fish.
And I can be their assistant.
Yay.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way to the trap.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would be ideal.
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured.
All this
and
talk
safely
about hunt
contained.
and capturing.
Wait.
I'm just imagining Farina as a rabbit
Only a hunter who's a true
dangling
expert
on a
at subduing
rope,
their prey can
upside
snare it
down.
without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
So are we going hunting together?
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not the best metaphor.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted throne.
That's right.
Oh, so that's what's going on. Sounds very interesting.
Florent's hunting metaphor was just that. A metaphor. You will not call this a hunt, because this is not what you should do at present. Nor has the relationship between you and Farina reached such a dire stage. What you need is simply the secrets she is keeping. Attempting to take her secrets is an act of sacrilegious disrespect, but must be done to prevent Fontaine from sinking into the waters, as foretold in the prophecy. There is neither hunter nor prey, but there must be a trap. That is what you will need. This reminds me of us planning to rescue Nahida with the gang in the desert. Which, okay, the vibes. Our end goal. to hunt down Farina. Hunger Games. Let's go.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it?
And we haven't seen a thing.
Happening?
Those meetings sure did make me hungry.
Think the meetings would go on for
We'll
so
see
long, but
everything
everyone
unfolding
seems
as it
pretty
goes.
fired up, huh?
They're like, yeah, let's hunt down
Probably
Farina.
was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised.
Do you feel more confident after the meetings, Paimon?
Well, it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Paimon sure will do great. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Huh?
Oh, something wrong?
Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice you doing that at all.
No, I didn't. Who's that?
Then what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Hello.
Who's that voice? But there's no one here.
May we drink the tea?
Aw, have you forgotten me already?
Hi, Nicole.
Who are you? You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
The voice from the sky, I fear that description is wrong. Though, not completely wrong. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sensed that confusion and thus came to you. Guiding people is an irresistible hobby of mine, after all.
He's saying, who are you? Man, we've played the event. We know that's
Passerby.
Nicole. Come on.
Just accepting
Come on.
a commission
Come on,
from my
Ether.
friend's disciple.
So the old hag sent Nicole to help us. Friend's disciple. So this is one of the friends of Mona's master. The enigmatic N of the Hexen Circle? Wow, how did you guess? Allow me to ask you, will Fontaine's prophecy come true?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
The history of the future.
Then is there any way we can stop it?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Tevat so easily
There it is again.
end?
Fate. Can there really be no exceptions?
So you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall?
Ooh, the phrase again. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could this be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall?
Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
Fascinating.
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kind of scary.
The tea in the teacup is just about gone as well.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
The voice.
Bye, Nicole.
It's gone.
Mage Nicole, is this the clue you're leaving for us? Man, I wish we saw her face. Nah. Hopefully she's not an
I
NPC.
hear someone talking. Alright, coming.
You're getting more diligent, Paimon.
Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Hey. How have you been this past few days?
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. It turned out to be more interesting than I expected.
not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat with her.
Good.
Did she have pink hair
Nice.
by any chance?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. I assume you've heard of her, no? That daredevil journalist?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just a few words?
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for once.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old
You
hag.
couldn't reach
I'll
her,
try again
so you
tonight,
didn't
but
even
I
ask.
wouldn't get your hopes up.
Damn you, Nicole. Damn you. I'm so intrigued by her. Actually, someone already came over.
Huh?
You tell Mona about the mysterious guest.
Goodness gracious. Are you
Yep.
serious?
Can you believe it? And she won't even show up herself.
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon.
Dane's sleeve
Most
much.
people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, and that she loves guiding those who are lost. But I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be... well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred
Damn.
now, and N's been around for longer than that.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group.
I'm so excited.
Really stay in shape to live so long.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
I'm sure she just likes me.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so...
We just have to play our part. That's it.
perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now.
Ever since Fontaine came out, even before that, when the first trailer of Fontaine came out, I was always keeping Nicole's words in my head. Because they were completely contradictory to what Lini has told us. Lini's words were that basically, magic is what you see with your own two eyes. While Nicole has told us, believe your own eyes. Only that which is seen is the truth. What is unseen is but an illusion. So their words are completely different. Lini's words imply that what you see is an illusion, because that is what we want you to see, and what is unseen is actually the truth that's going on and being concealed from you. While Nicole said the opposite. What is unseen is illusion, while what we see with our own eyes is the truth. So that contradiction really made me think about Nicole's words in this whole setting. I was keeping them in mind while playing it. Hence I was so excited to see her. And what I'm trying to say is not that Lini was wrong and she was right. Basically, everyone has their own truth, as, well, Lini's story quest has shown us. Which will come eventually, don't worry. But neither of them are wrong. But just Lini's words are his truth that may not always apply to ours. And what I would be interested in more is the wisdom of the hundreds of years old scary lady from the Hexen Circle than, well, a magician, you know? Was that the best answer that my question could have gotten?
Traveler,
I skipped the dialogue by accident.
are you two
Oh, well.
alright?
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down right now. It kind of feels like the end is coming. you
I know, right?
I see.
The end is coming and
I feel
there's
that
just so
sense
much
of
that's gonna happen.
desperation, too.
I'm glad you can
I
understand
guess you
me,
could
Mona.
consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as I have seen, it cannot be swayed. But
We're
even
gonna
so,
change the fate
I still hope
itself.
for And
Probably.
believe in miracles. Astrology is eternal and rational, but fate may not be. It is cruel, but it can also be beautiful.
Well said.
Perhaps that's
Actually,
what
well
Em's trying
said.
to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe that what you are seeing playing out before you is not yet set in stone. I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then how can we face the end when it comes?
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. Sorry about that. The moment I start talking about work-related stuff. I need to get going.
Don't worry about it, Mona, and thank
It
you.
was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I believe that you'll help those who are struggling in the same way I did.
I hope we are
I
able to do
suppose
so.
That might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
That is our fate.
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said, but also kind of sad too.
Well, she gave us
Hey,
hope.
Traveler, Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's go.
He looks so serious. His face didn't change for a while.
There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Out on the stroll.
Our names are written in this newspaper. What's going on?
Maybe we're famous.
Let Paimon see.
What do you think?
The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy, but that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that.
Yeah, we didn't give her the Duke interview.
Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blonde adventurer with their white fairy, legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater fortress. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the traveler contain surprises in spades.
Damn.
Journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker.
World Walker.
Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed her.
She's a paparazzi,
She
of
hasn't
course.
been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as the subject matter instead.
Well, we do owe her for the meal. That sure seems to be the case.
Seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forgive her this time.
This time, okay, Paimon. I do not know what to expect. At all.
We're here!
We're just casually having a walk.
Paimon's hungry. Should we go in and get something to eat?
Everything is just so chill. Too chill. Well, the usual.
Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition only 16 slices a day cake!
Wow. Oh, it hasn't already sold out for the day?
This is the last time we tried it. Despite the tense situation we were in, let's give it another go. Paimon's sure it'll be great.
We can't let anyone get ahead of us.
One slice of cake, please.
Damn it.
Someone showed up after all.
You talk too much.
Oh,
Hey,
you're
Sidine!
the one from the
I thought you
Paladin
sounded similar.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur Nervalette was right. You really can eat.
Say something like that.
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food. As for me, I love the cake and coffee here.
Aw, that's cool.
Do you come here often?
Hey, nice chat with Sidine. I love that.
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake and coffee.
Cake every day. Is that really healthy?
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon, and you wouldn't get to eat cake
Damn,
here
Paimon.
anymore? What would you think?
What are these deep philosophical
But why
questions?
would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe the waters will rise tomorrow.
Damn. Maybe
You know,
the
like in
world
the
will
prophecy.
blow up.
Oh, the
In 2010.
prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No. Still, even if there'd be no more cake tomorrow, that wouldn't keep me from having some today. No. It's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so today, then you should carry on. That's what people call living.
Tell her. You tell her. You heard that, Paimon.
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of
Aw.
cake to go?
Is this a treat?
These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call being sad.
Aw.
Oh, you know Sijuin?
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes to the surface
tell me more about
to teach us
Sijuin.
things about humans.
She was born before you.
She said
Yet she
that
has a human
humans are
face.
creatures that are
What's the
saddened
deal?
easily, yes, and you can only lift their spirits by feeding them delicious food. So please try the cakes here.
I love
I've got
how she
something else
talks.
to do, so
I love her
I'll go
voice
now.
actors.
You two try to stay in a good mood after eating, all right? Bye.
Bye, Sidine. Oh my god, I love you so much.
And there she goes.
One of my favorite melodies.
Alright, let's dig in. I'm unsure this cake will be delicious.
Well, it is a treat after all.
It's more delicious than last time. And the flavor gets even better with a sip of tea. It sure would be nice if we could come again tomorrow. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food here.
After this scene, I'm just getting the feeling like, oh yeah, we're just experiencing life in Fontaine. It's so great. Life is so beautiful. We should enjoy living while we can.
Oh, we're near the Seabird
Before,
office. Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
well, you know.
Wow! If it isn't the traveler,
I'm getting chills just from the thought.
Have you seen the article I wrote about you?
Yeah, we did.
You've got some nerve. You just used us to make some quick mora.
Can we negotiate a profit split?
Don't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appears you didn't receive it, though.
Nope.
It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Hey,
Really? Oh, you're the best.
actually.
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
How do you know, huh?
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
Well, kinda.
A friend of ours met you a while back, and when she mentioned it, we thought of coming to see you. Her name's Mona.
Ah, so you know Miss Mona as well. She's a guest columnist for our paper.
I love that they are adding this dialogue to those who actually played the
Brilliant
event.
astrologist. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with the legendary traveler and Paimon?
This could be used for a soundboard. Nice.
So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and experienced.
You seriously want to interview me?
Yeah, are we even qualified enough?
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it. But not right now, of course. I'll need a few days to prepare.
Oh, in that case, we'll just chat when you have the time then?
Oh, so that's a yes?
Yeah, sure.
Splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and...
Damn.
Whew, so much to get done now. Talk to you later.
She's gonna set up a whole
Charlotte,
stage.
Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that easily. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal rather than worry over such an end. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always believed that it's best to do what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a truly unique person, then the story I would wind up writing would truly be timeless. And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job, and I'd be proud of leaving such an article behind. I guess you could say that I was born to be a journalist. But anyway, that's my answer. And on that note, I'll get back to my preparations.
That's so nice. All of a sudden, Paimon actually kinda envies her. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
At the sea. Man. All this makes me sad. I want to commentate some stuff and say something, but I'm
Breeze
just
and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh?
taking in the vibe and...
Paimon's
well,
been
you know.
thinking.
Yes?
If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go and what would we do? No, Paimon should ask, if you could choose, what would you like to do?
If I could choose, huh? I think you know the answer, Paimon. It's just like Charlotte said. Suddenly trying to consider what to do is pointless.
To the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot.
Until that moment comes, I think I'll keep journeying on. Yes,
Traveling?
cherishing every single moment that I have to look upon this world.
Wait, isn't that what we've always been doing?
Yes. The banter goes back and forth between the two of you as time slips by. As night falls, you return to your accommodations and end this busy day. The next few days are just as calm. Charlotte comes to find you and conducts the interview in the Spina di Rusula safe house at the Fleuve Cendres. Navia, having finished her business in Poisson, even drops by to take a photo with the two of you. All goes well. Please, don't, HOYO-verse. What are you doing?
Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay here long enough. But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure. It's not only damp there, but salty too.
But there's also free food. Well,
So the two
Kinda.
of you are still here. Wonderful.
oh, hello Isadora.
You're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't
Never that again?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillac sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward you went to the Fortress of Meropide.
So, are you under the impression that we might be wanted criminals?
Not at all. I'm well aware that you're
Perhaps?
friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along a message from him.
Oh, did something happen? Let's hear it.
Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally think it was that serious. Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing her, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under due to the prophecy.
Yeah.
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment people feel threatened, gods are also the first to be blamed.
So what happened after that? Is Farina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired of this and left in a hurry. The Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone.
Only when things had stabilized did we realize that she had gone missing.
Missing.
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Marechaussee has dispatched many people to search for her, but we don't have any leads
She
yet.
disappeared.
That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary people do to her?
I understand the situation.
Good. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Ah, is that so? Well, alright then. In that case, you two take care. I'll be heading back to the Palais now.
Thank you, Isadora.
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then.
You sure caught on quickly. Okay, so this is a part of the plan.
If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out the heat. And, as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone.
Yeah.
When Nervillet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and remorse. It would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve the sense of guilt that she's feeling. Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up too. Cool, huh?
Yeah, very cool. I see becoming a detective's done you some good.
Poisson, here we come! This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
There she is. The usual Farina. Looking into the water. Being sad and all.
That's Farina, right over there. She really is here all on her own.
Shh, stay quiet now. She's crying.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love the...
Give up,
I love how
Farina.
they animated the tears.
There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over?
Farina.
Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina, it's just us.
Farina. Farina.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land.
Stop
Why,
putting
I
on a
almost
bold
thought you were
front.
someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains?
Yeah, there's no tear stains, Paimon. They did not animate them.
The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it. Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were, disturbing my enjoyment of the arts? They even dare to tout their Archon. I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize that I'm nowhere to be found.
She's so afraid.
Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marechaussee Phantom are freaking out right next to them too.
She's so nervous. That's... Stop trying to act tough, Farina. You're actually beyond devastated right now, aren't you?
Of course not.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there!
God damn it!
Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are... They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Yeah, they're just fans.
Farina just ran off. Quick, we have to catch up with her.
God damn it. What is this goofy chase?
This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
Gotcha.
Hurry, they're
Nope.
almost
Okay.
here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
And we got you now, I think. Is this our trap, or...?
Paimon's exhausted.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me. No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
This place is not what I'd call soundproof.
You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
But... Oh.
What's happening? The ground's shaking. Is it an earthquake?
Another disaster just struck, I suspect.
Yeah, a quake of this kind.
And
deserves
I
the
suspect
flooding
that this
and
is all a part of the show that we're putting on for her.
Can't be. It's happening again.
Yep.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about
Yeah,
that.
that's definitely an
Nonetheless
act.
made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
So she were to personally
Yeah,
witness
I hope
this.
you're right. But the people of Poisson, they've already...
Has Farina finally reached her limit? Now that she's talking about her actual feelings, she's starting to look far less stiff. You begin to talk amongst yourselves as Farina slowly calms down.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
So this is a prophecy by the heavenly principles. So, Egeria messed up, became a sinner, and she had to pay for her sin. And the cost for it was Fontaine itself? Maybe like heavenly principles gave Egeria like a time limit that this will happen to your nation. But even then, you still haven't given up, right?
Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
But that would also mean that all
Indeed.
hope would disappear.
I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else.
That's right.
As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too
You
late.
shoulder the responsibility
Don't worry.
for all of them.
I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end.
But you don't have to bear this burden alone.
Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all.
Really now.
Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
Mm-hmm.
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
We're running out of time. We can't just go back to square one like this. I have to get more information out of her. Farina, you might not have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone, your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you?
I am your audience member.
If that's the case...
There's no time left. Please, Ferdinand, just spit it out! Oh? Cutscene. Come on! Uh-oh. I knew this wasn't just a random follow-up to the disaster that struck Poisson.
Ladies and
that definitely
gentlemen,
was
this
a
concludes
planned
my opening performance.
rumble.
Now, without further ado,
Damn.
we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Focalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
Are you gonna fight?
You would draw your blade against a god?
This is her duty.
I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Nope. I give up.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Yep.
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
It would seem that there has
She
been
has
a
a smug smile
misunderstanding.
on her face.
To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself.
Hey, she's opening up.
But
That's
now,
something.
it is time for the
At least.
Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice. This time, I will protect you.
You? As in
Applaud
people?
and rejoice.
Or
One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine.
I love that shot.
The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor, will now begin!
With Farina on stage and Neuvillette on the throne behind her.
Oh, now we're making history.
A sigh.
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing?
Nah, she just
Come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes?
she's just pretending that
Also,
she's got
even though
everything
she's
under
still
control.
acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
Hopefully.
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak,
Right now, I'm no
witness of
longer
that, my
just an
accuser
audience
and
member.
fated opponent.
Let's dance, Farina. You and me. But yeah, we were so close to getting her to tell us the truth, and it still turned out like this in the end. She's gonna feel like it's a betrayal. It's okay though. As long as we can defeat Farina in court, we'll still have a chance to figure everything out. Let the trial begin.
Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins. Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
We were strolling.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my
Ooh.
subordinates. They changed into plain
Yeah,
clothes
okay.
and came to the opera house as regular audience members, waiting
I
for
love
the
how this
perfect
looks.
opportunity
Everything
to
about
incite
this is
insurrection
awesome.
against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we
And
needed
the way
to
they
turn
are
smoldering
explaining this is
anger
also
into a flame.
better than they did in Sumer.
Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean, the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontainian history.
How did you transform that
That's
magic
right.
box here?
That house
That's
was
the
a
question.
magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the
Awesome.
box was
Okay.
increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support.
Okay.
The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in
I
Mora
see.
to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot
Okay.
of work for all of us.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's
Yep.
right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Sorry about that. We deceived you back there.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You
Charlotte's
gathered a
there.
crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in
No.
Poisson.
Not really.
You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
No, you guessed wrong.
Oh?
My mission was to give you the last chance. We hoped that you'd share your secret with us before the magic box arrived onto the stage. That's why he was saying there's no time left. Come on, come on.
Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance.
And there's no running away now.
It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
We're ready, Farina. Yeah, the only thing we can do is to judge the Hydro Archon. Still, I can't help but be a little bothered by that conversation earlier. What did Farina want to say to me right before we arrived on the stage?
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along.
Yeah, it pains me
This
that
is
she's
a
gonna see that
document
as a
Miss
betrayal
Charlotte
from our
applied
side,
for
but
and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
what's this?
Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte!
Hey,
Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the
Exclusive
interview that
interview.
she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened
Aww.
ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine!
that's what she was talking about.
So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument!
It's a super practical gift. I would have never thought of using this in that way.
Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right.
Okay.
Hide this a Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something. The words... Nice.